Monius X here. I thought I'd make a video on some games that I really think should be brought from the Japanese market to the American market. A lot of classics and how should I say this? Undiscovered titles that most of us want to play, but never could because the Japanese market would hold all the share to it, and a lot of the game companies couldn't find a publisher in the States to bring these games over for us to enjoy as gamers or retro gamers, whoever you may be or whatever category you are under. Anyways, the first game I want to say that should come to America is Wii's game Disaster Day of Crisis. Now, me having a hacked Wii, I've actually got to experience this title in its thoroughly. And let me tell you, the game is probably one of the best Wii games ever created. You play a guy named Ray, and you have to survive disasters that are happening all around you. And the game really keeps your heart pumping and your adrenaline going. And the controls are very awesome. The way they have them implemented. You have to hold your Wii remote like this and the nunchuck like this, and you actually have to drive through an earthquake with shit falling on the road and you almost swerving and hitting it. I apologize for that. The sound. I got my surround sound hooked up right now. I usually use my headphones, but I decide since I'm talking and I'm using a microphone, this little thing right here, I decided to go ahead and turn my sound on. Alright, whoever's doing that needs to fucking stop it. Anyways. Disaster is a really awesome game, and you gotta... I don't remember the exact story, but what happens is you're on a volcanic mountain climbing it for whatever reason, and, well, you know what? Just go on Wikipedia and look up the fucking story. I don't feel like explaining it, because my mind's not working all that well today anyways. I'm only running off 4 hours of sleep. I had a rough night last night. No need to explain why. But I'll just tell you that it's a really cool story. The game plays wonderfully, and it's actually one of the best-looking Wii games. But Reggie Fils-Aimé is like, no, this game sucks. He probably only played it for 5 minutes. Trust me, if you sit down and play this game throughout its whole full, I want to say 15 hours, 15, 20 hours. To me, that's a perfect amount of time, because if a game's any longer than that, replay value goes down. But Disaster Day of Crisis is the one game. Another game I would like to see released in the States in some form or another is Salamander Deluxe Pack. It has Life Force, Salamander, and Salamander 2 on one disc. Now, this was released in the Japanese market for the PlayStation and Sega Saturn. And I honestly think this game has a chance to survive here because there's a lot of shooter fans over here. Like Thunder Force 6. Why wasn't that brought over here? That was also a fantastic game, but well, that's going to be my next game I'll talk about. Right now I'm going to talk about Salamander Deluxe Pack. They're not the console ports. They're the arcade ports of the games of the same name. And you're getting a nice package because while Life Force and Salamander share a lot of the gameplay properties from one another, they're two different games in terms of the level designs and power-ups and the way the power-ups are used. Salamander 2, to me, is the light of the package. We never experienced the sequel to Life Force, and that's what Salamander 2 pretty much is. In a sense. I'm trying to see if I can find a way to explain this. I can't really, but Salamander 2 is pretty much a sequel to Life Force, and we never played it because, well, Japan's a bunch of greedy fuckers and they want to keep the shit over in Japan. And another thing they did, and speaking of which, you know how we got the Gradius collection over here? In Japan, they got the Salamander collection. I never played either, but I've seen gameplay footage, and they seem to be a little graphically updated a little bit. Not Castlevania Dracula X Chronicles style, but, it still looks good. But, yeah, if you're a shooter fan and you got a PSP, I would suggest Gradius Collection, and if you have it hacked, get the Salamander one while you're at it. But those games need to come over here, and not in a handheld format, in a console format. And if it came out for the Wii, I would buy it probably on the first day. Next game is Thunder Force. The last game I believe we saw here in the Americas was 5 for the PS2 during the launch of PS2, along with Gradius 3 and 4. Which were both wonderful games. Gradius 3 and 4, they were their arcade counterparts, which makes them very hard, but that's already over here. And did you know that's on a compact disc, not a DVD disc? If you own the game or look it up online, you can find in the back of the compact, it says compact disc, not DVD-ROM. I own the game disc, so I would know what I'm talking about. Another game I would like to see in the Americas, there's actually a lot of games I wish people who actually know the Japanese language to a thorough level to do some fan sub games. There's actually one of them in off right now. It's called Sega Ga Ga Ga. Or, I don't know, I get confused with that name. It's a game about Sega, and it's cool because the final bosses in the game are Sega systems. Now, I didn't play like these games on a thorough level. I look up the videos online. That's why I'm not going to show any footage. And other than that, I have to use a camera because my computer's too weak of a piece of shit to capture video. Because I have to use an NVIDIA GeForce 128 video card. My 512, it burnt out. The fan died and I didn't know about it. And well, it's a long story, but you all know what I'm talking about. It burned out. The fan was stopped working on it, and it kind of burned out. I was told it could be fixed, though, from a computer geek friend of mine that lives down the road. So I told him if he can fix it, I'll throw him like a $15 or $20, or I'll buy him a pack of beer we can drink or something. Another game I would like to see in America. I don't believe I know the PC version came out here, but the Genesis version didn't. But the Genesis version is a piss poor version of the original game I'm about to speak of, and that's Sorcery Inn. The Dreamcast one, it looks cheesy, but the gameplay itself is fun. I have it this. I burned the game a little while back, and I played Sorcery Inn, and it's cool. It kind of reminds me of I don't know, a better version of Legacy of the Wizard. That's the only way I can describe it, because Legacy of the Wizard was a complete piece of shit. I don't care. A lot of people go on telling me, "Oh, you just suck at games," or "You don't like dungeon games." I mean, I do like dungeon games, especially the first-person ones. You guys remember Swords and Serpents on the NES? That was a fantastic game, and I played that often. Matter of fact, I've beaten it 3 times. So don't tell me I don't like dungeon crawler games, because I actually do. It depends on what format they're in and what kind of interesting elements they throw in. So Sorcery Inn on the Dreamcast would be an excellent fan sub-based game to be brought here. And I would, if someone were to ever do that, I would appreciate that. And I will mention a couple more games and then I gotta go, and I might make a part 2 of this later on. But these are just some games I was thinking of. I'm like, I'm gonna make a video and make people aware of these games so they can look them up and see for themselves what we've missed out on. And while there's probably other videos that explain it better than I can, hey, take this as what it is. I don't give a fuck. Another game, another title that we missed out on. I just had it. It was for the Super Nintendo. I think it's called Maju Oo. Nah, my Japanese is bad today. But its translation is King of Demons. The sprites are tiny. They're like, being on the screen, the main character anyways. But what the cool thing about the game is, it's kind of like Magician Lord. You can turn into different things and have different attack powers. The game is also gory and there's some nudity involved. Yeah, SNES. Well, it's Super Famicom because, the Japanese, they love ass and titties. They'll throw it in anything. But what's funny is their pornography is censored. Someone wants to explain why the Japanese censor the porn, please feel free to do so. Because I never understood that. Alright, and one more game we'll save for now, and then later on I'll come up with another list of games I would want to see, and I just had it and it kind of slipped through my mind. Secret of Mana 2 or Seiken Densetsu 3. Nintendo or Square Enix, whoever in the fuck wants, they need to bring that over here. All right, I mean, thanks to the world of the internet, we've had fan translations of this title. I'm pretty sure you all know who Neil Collette is. I believe that's his name. His name may be pronounced differently. But he is one of the head honchos in terms of emulation and fan subs. And he's also passionate about the 8-bit era as much as I am. But he made a fan subbed word-for-word translation on Secret of Mana 2, Seiken Densetsu 3, and I believe the Americans should experience this game in its full accountability. Anyways, this is Demonius X for now, and I hope you enjoyed this video. You probably didn't, but I don't give a fuck. It is what it is. Take care.